Hi, this is Johannes from Noisebud, and today I'm presenting a new plugin that's called Talk, and it looks like this. It is a process that tries to add a lot of high-end information. Pretty much, it is kind of a dynamic, high-shelf equalizer, but the dynamics is there's two dynamic engines. One that try to protect the signal from excessive sibilance, so it leaves sibilance alone, and also transients, so that transients don't get too harsh. But everything in between it tries to boost. The other dynamic section is a section that adds more of the effect when the signal is busy. So that means you can set it up so that the choruses, for example, has more high end than the rest of the song. And I'm gonna exaggerate the effect today. Normally I use this very subtle. So when I use it the way I'm gonna do today, where I pretty much max out the plugin constantly, that means that in some cases you may hear the modulation of the you can hear the dynamic engine working. You don't normally do that with this plugin, so remember that is if that happens, I don't know yet, I haven't tried it with this material that I'm gonna use for this demo. Then remember that I'm pushing it hard, so it's not meant to be pushed this hard. All right, I also brought up my old lovely plugin Midsider, and we're going to talk about that later. Why is that there? But that has to do with where this plugin is going. Let's start by talking about the controls and show you how it works. So the EQ is actually the same EQ. No, it's not. I'm lying. The controls are the same as in Square. And you have two ways of boosting, creating a high shelf. One is just a simple EQ. That's the middle one. It's a line of phase EQ. But other than that, it's just a high shelf. And the other one is an distortion algorithm, the same that I used in Square. So that's where Square comes in. It's the control and the distortion or saturation engine. It's the high shelf is actually, I created that just for this plugin. So the outer control here, let's zoom in on it. This is the saturation, if you choose to use saturation instead of a normal high shelf, and this is the high shelf in one. So those are the amount controls, simple as that. Then we have some controls on the side here, which controls the dynamics. We're gonna look at those later on. We have oversampling up to 32 times. Right now it's at 32 because I usually have it there. Not that I notice too much of aliasing from this plugin, but in theory it should create a lot of aliasing, so why not? You can set the frequencies to 6 different positions from 3.6 or 3600 hertz. So it goes down to the high mids and then goes up to the very high end, the really high frequencies. You have dry wet and a gain control, and I actually gonna max out the dry wet for now. We're gonna use that later. All right, let's see. Mid-side is set on stereo, so we're working with the stereo signal, and we're using Jonas' old demo again because it's a beautiful song and it's very good for demoing stuff. Little laughing star. All right, so let's start using this thing. The first thing we're gonna do is to find the most intense part of the song. It's usually a chorus. In this case, I don't know where it is, but I just put my position or somewhere there. I don't know. Hope that's it. Because we're gonna set the incoming level so that the dynamic engine will react to the correct kind of signal. So here we go. Sorry, I don't send the audio to OBS. 1 second. Let's see if it works now. Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's put the marker there and we hit play. And I'm gonna hit this little button when I'm playing the most intense part. That will set the level. It's pretty much like in sub where you have that, you know, knob just to set the level. It works the same way. This meter is a bit slower, so it doesn't move the same as in sub, but it's the same principle. Now the incoming level is set. So when I start to play this from the start, you can see these 2 meters here. There's one yellow meter there, and there's one yellow meter in the Sibilance Protection part. Those show you when the effect is active or not, and it works that way that it goes first through the Sibilance Protection engine, and then it goes through the dynamic dry wet control, which means that if the Sibilance Protection engine, if this isn't visible, the yellow thing, it's just a gray thing, so you can't see the meter, that means that the plugin isn't doing anything. The same goes for the upper part, the upper one. And if this is completely yellow, the Sibilance Protection, but this is completely gray, then it's still no sound because it goes first through the Sibilance and then through the dynamic wet. They both need to be yellow for the plugin to actually do something. So let's hit play in the beginning and just have a look at those meters to see how they perform or how they behave. I haven't boosted anything yet, so we're not doing anything with the signal. Here we go.
I just couldn't make it, so close upon yourself.
And if I fast forward to a more intense part.
Ooh, little laughing star, that's who you are.
So you can see that I reset the engine again. I thought that the signal wasn't at the position where I liked it to be. You can change the threshold. Let's do that. The same thing. Let's play from the beginning, and I will. If we start with this at the lowest position, you can see what happens with the meter. Let's zoom in again. So you can see that it reacts like any threshold. So as soon as the signal goes above the threshold, it's 100% wet, and when it's below, it's dry. But it's a bit slow, the process, so it doesn't just, you know, it's like a soft clip kind of algorithm in a compressor or clipper. So it slowly goes from the wet to the dry, and you can see what it's doing with the meter on the side. Well, that said, now you know what the dynamic section does, or the upper part, dynamic dry and wet control. Let's have a look at the Sibilance Protection. Actually, when you open the plugin, the default position is like this. That means that it's not completely take away the transient and the sibilance. It just soften them a little bit. For the demo, I'm gonna have this at max, but this means that you can turn it off exactly like with the dynamic dry wet. Just put the threshold to 0, and it's pretty much, it's not completely shut off, but it's well, it's almost like it's in off position. Sibilance control, that is actually 100% off if you put it to the left, and it's at max, then it's completely going between 0 and 100%, depending on if there are transients or sibilance present in the signal. All right, now let's start to boost things with this. So let's do that. I start a bit in because it's easier.
You said the law of sense made you eat forbidden dove.
So now I boosted both the saturation and the amount knob just 100%, and I put it on a high shelf to 3600 high shelf, which means that it's doing as much as this plugin is capable of. So what you're hearing now is the max position. I usually don't use this settings, but you can hear that even if you can hear that it's adding a lot of high end, it doesn't do that in an unpleasant way. It's soft, like talk. So that's the principle of this plugin. Let's play around a little bit with this. I'm gonna bypass and activate it back and forth, so you will hear the differences that it make and in different settings. And I can explain the bottom row of buttons, which you will see in a lot of upcoming plugins. It's pretty much the bypass button, a loudness match, and delta button in one kind of, I mean, it's 3 buttons, but they are radio buttons. So when you can switch quickly between them. So the L in the middle, that's the loudness matched version of the signal. Off is the bypass button. So as soon as off is in position, then the plugin is completely bypassed. So you can switch between the loudness matched and the off to compare what you just get a loudness matched comparison between the dry and the wet signal. And the delta, I did it this way because I realized that, well, if you use the delta, you don't use the off or the loudness match function. So it's pretty good to have them as a radio button. You work really fast this way. It's just sorry, I cut off myself. Let's play around with it so you can see how those work.
With the absence of desertion at the sunniest hour, you said the law of sense made you eat forbidden fruit. I never quite enjoyed the benefit of fruit. And maybe 'cause we're different, and maybe 'cause we're true. Ooh, laughing star. Ooh, little laughing star. That's who you are.
So I have done, oh sorry, I had it zoomed in. Okay, so I've done some settings, and let's see just how the plugin behaves when I play the song from the beginning, and see if you can hear how the high end changes of the track, or if you actually just get tricked and just don't hear that what's happening, just that the more intense part of the song actually has more energy. And so it's kind of a fake energy plugin, but also a really nice high end adjustment plugin thing. So let's play it and see how it sounds.
I just couldn't make it so close upon your soul. But this is not regret creating this tune. We share the loneliness as we share the sky. Ooh, laughing star. That's who you are. You said the law of sense made you eat forbidden dove. With the absence of desertion at the sunniest hour. The law of sense made you eat forbidden fruit. I never quite enjoy the benefit.
So hopefully you can hear that this is a pretty musical plugin, that it follows the signal in a musical way. It adds a high end where it's it's suited. I have been there have been a couple of situations where I haven't been happy with the results, but that's pretty much the thing with any plugin. I mean, there's not one universal setting that works on everything, but usually you can just change that, but by backing off a bit of the Sibilance Protection and adjust the amount controls and driver control and so on. And so you often find a setting that works. I also have some material where the modulation of the levels of the high shelf got pretty obvious. Same thing with that. I probably pushed it too hard, so I backed off a little bit, and that then it was fine. And the recover control, I forgot to mention that. This is how long it will take for the signal. When it detects sibilance or transients, how long it takes for the signal to go back up. So that's what the recover is. It's kind of a release control. So you can see, let's watch the meter when I play a part of the song, so you get a sense of how that works.
Eat forbidden fruit. I never quite enjoy the benefit of rule. And maybe 'cause we're different.
Let's listen to the delta when I do that. Then it's pretty obvious what it's doing. Yep. So that's it with the speed of the Sibilance Protection engine. All right. Is there anything I forgot in the plugin itself? I don't think so. That's pretty much how you use it. So it's a pretty simple plugin once you know how to just set in the levels. So the threshold the little button here sets the level. No matter what the incoming level is, it sets it so that usually I leave the threshold in the 12 o'clock position. It just works after I push this button and set the level to the most intense part. That usually works, but it's no problem just to adjust it a little bit if you want to. I find myself often using the amount of the Sibilance Protection in max position, even though it's not really intended to be that extreme, but I guess that has to do with that I'm often just pushing maybe 1 or 2 decibels. Right now, when I demoed this, I pushed 6 decibels. It's 6 decibels from the minimum position to the max. In reality, you rarely add that amount of high end because the dynamic control will set the wet dry to maybe 50% or 40% or something like that in the positions where it would be possible to add that amount of energy in the high end. So even it doesn't really matter how many decibels these controls are set to, and that's why I haven't put anything on the interface as well, because it won't, even if I put 6 decibels there, it wouldn't be representative for what the process actually is doing with the signal. So you need to use your ears or watch the dry wet. If you like to do that, then you can have an idea how much is added or added to the signal. All right, let's talk about why I put up Midsider here. It's a lovely plugin. It's because I discovered that using this and just affecting the mid channel is amazing. You actually get a wider stereo image when doing that, even though you're boosting the mid channel. And it's also less intrusive, so it's harder to hear it. You kind of disguise the whole plugin, yet you still lift up that high end, so it sounds amazing. Let's do that. So we're gonna apply plugin on mid, and we're gonna play. Let's play from the beginning, and I'm gonna tweak the controls again.
I just couldn't make it, so close upon your soul. But this is not regret, creating this tune. We share the loneliness as we share the sky. Ooh, laughing star. That's who you are. You said the law of sense made you eat forbidden dove. With the absence of desertion at the sunniest hour. Said the law of sense made you eat forbidden fruit. I never quite enjoyed the benefit of rule. And maybe cause we're different, and maybe cause we're true. Ooh, laughing star. Star.
Yeah, so you can hear when I just added to the mid channel, then it's amazing as well. And that is actually a function that I will implement in the plugin directly, so don't have to mess with matrix plugins like Midside or other like MZ from Voxengo or similar. All right, that's in mid-side mode or just in the mid channel. Let's just have a listen to another track, and the reason why I'm demoing this track is because when you're using an just normal high shelf on this track, it gets really harsh and it's not nice to listen to. But with Talk, I can actually raise the high end, even if I don't know if it's really needed in this track. But we're just going to do it anyway, just for demo purposes. I will just show you that you can actually raise the high end without making it hard to listen to. So here we go. First we playing in an intense part of the track, and I'm going to set the incoming signal with a little button here. That's good enough. And yeah, put the recover to the default position. Let's play a part of this track again, and we're gonna boost a lot. Yeah, let's put it in the most extreme position because it's most fun to demo stuff like that. So now we're just mushing the high end just to see how this sounds. Here we go. All right, now let's disable both dynamic engines so that we apply the this amount of high end to the whole signal, just to see how that sounds and see if you can bear to listen to it. You can hear how big of a difference those dynamic controls things, what it does to the signal. So it actually adds the same amount of high end in specific places. It's just not in all the places. It just skips the transients and the sibilance parts, which means that the boost that you actually get is from background noise. It will raise up the like reverb tails of stuff and things like that, and that's where it will boost the high end. In this case, I put it on 3600, which is down in the high mid, so it will yeah, I'm usually at 600 or 8000, or sorry, 6000 or 8000 with this plugin, sometimes even higher. So just so you know. All right, that's Talk, and I haven't been able to, or I haven't had the time to create a demo, but I will do that. And I also thought that I will create a demo hub similar to the download hub, so it will have all the demos in one place. And for patrons, it's available to download right now. It's just go grab it, and there will be an update with mid-side functionality, and maybe right now it's working on both the left and the right channel at the same time with the same values. I may create a link function so you can link them or not. That may sound cool. I haven't tried it yet, so we'll see. Those are updates that you can expect sometime in the future. And yeah, let's talk. Have fun with it, and see you with the next plugin. Bye bye.